Hello, everyone. How are you this Saturday morning? I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for people to log on. And this live's actually supposed to start at 10. And I'm just starting a little bit early so that everyone can have an opportunity to get on before I start talking about my art. So, hi, hey Nicole. My name is Sharon Samples, and I am an artist and art teacher, educator, currently living and working in Montgomery, Alabama. And I'm originally from Mobile. Hello. So I have some of my family members on right now, which is awesome. My mom and dad and sister. So that's awesome. Yay. So yeah. So again, hello, good morning, Saturday morning. I'm going to be sharing with you kind of the history of my art. I have some art from when I was in middle school and college and some sketchbooks and things like that. And if you guys have any questions at any point, let me know, or want to see something specific. I'll see if I can show it to you. And again, if you want to ask me something, you could just put a comment down below in the little comments feed. Thank you for the hearts. Let's see. Yeah, so again, okay, I'm going to get started. So again, I'm Sharon Samples. I'm an art teacher and I guess art educator. I teach art during the day in public school, and I teach after school art programs as well. And sometimes I have art shows, so it's actually about time for me to have another one. But during the last time I displayed anything was in March of 2020, the week before everything shut down. And this piece right here is what was displayed. Let's see. So I have it in my little office nook. A lot of my work, actually, I don't have it up on display in my apartment, but I figured, since this was already nicely framed by me, I might as well put it up. Hello. What is it? Okay, so I'm trying to read the comments as well. So yeah, so this is a piece of art. So I guess I'll, so yeah, this is I'm currently in my, I call it my office nook. So if I pan over here, you will see this is a memo board that I DIY'd with an old picture frame, spray painted it pink, and then hung up some little inspirational pieces. This is a show that I attended in Montgomery. This is a print from King's Canvas, and then this little print over here is actually a postcard of my artwork that was up on my website, but I'm having issues with my website right now, so it's under construction. So if you want to see my work, you'll have to go to my Instagram. But for now, and then this is actually a painting up here done by my wonderful niece who likes to do art whenever I'm with her. And then here is actually a photo of baby me and my maternal grandmother, who is also an artist. So I like to keep that up there for inspiration and, keeping family memories close. Let's see. My Instagram art page is actually at Hey Art Girl. So let me see. I'm gonna see if I can type it in the comments. So yeah, I just put it below. So it's at Hey Art Girl, HEYARTGYRL. And I don't update it as much as I used to. I actually used to post my art on my personal Instagram, and then a few years ago I finally decided, okay, I probably need to have a separate account for this so it can be a little bit more specific. So yeah, and my website again was artgirl.com, and then it was artgirl.squarespace.com. But again, right now, if you want to look at art, you could just go to my Instagram for now. let's see. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start with some of my art that I have here. And also I have kind of what my website looked like. So I'll flip this around if I can. So again, this is what my website did look like. And I have pieces. Some art is digital, some art is in person. So I'm going to be showing you actually most of these pieces. So we're going to start with, again, this is a photo actually of my mom and dad and my grandma wearing the shirt that I'm wearing. And I found this shirt, and then I discovered this picture, and I was like, that's the same shirt that's in the picture. So this is my grandma, Bessie Ruth, and my parents right before my older sister was born. So this piece here, I want to start highlighting this because if anyone's familiar with school art programs, this is called, I did a piece when I was 12 years old for the PTSA Reflections competition, and they still actually have it now, but this was over 20 years ago. So the theme was, let me see, Dare to Discover. And I think my theme was Dare to Discover Friends. And so, yeah, so it still has the the form on the back with my art teacher, Kay Dodrell, visual arts. And this actually won at, I want to say, the regional level, and it went up to the state level, but did not win. So that was that was my first kind of big art competition that I won in middle school. So this is a drawing in color pencil. You can actually tell by the outfits that this is definitely the 90s. And I did girls that are like different races and ethnicities all being friends. And so this was done when I was 12 years old. I was in the 6th grade. So yeah. Then let's see, fast forward. Let's flip through this. So this is a piece that I did, I think the last show before I moved here in Mobile. And its kind of theme was kind of just representation of people of color and also my family story. So this is charcoal and graphite on gray paper, and this wasn't a frame, but the frame got messed up, so I have to reframe it. But you can see the rough edge of the paper. And then, sorry, I'll try to do what my sister says and hold the camera still. So I was really focusing on, you know, having her natural hair texture and highlighting that. And then there's some song lyrics here, and just having very subtle details executed in pencil. So that's that one. And I'm going to pan over here so y'all can see this one, which was in the show Who I Am, which was at the Telebody Fine Arts Center on ASU's campus. Again, this was what was in the show right before everything shut down for the pandemic. So I think this is called Black Girl. And this is just pencil on illustration board. So again, these are my more recent pieces, and I was just focusing on just really executing the detail. And there's a story behind it, but I really wanted the message to be subtle. Back over here. I wanted the message of these pieces to be more subtle in that you're looking at a portrait of a woman, and then you look at the details in her clothing and her features and things like that, and kind of get an indication of, you know, hey, there's something more to this. But what I really wanted to draw you in was just her expression, and then you start to slowly notice the details. So that's kind of what I do with a lot of my art. Is there is a story behind a lot of things, but then it's also, I want it to be a beautiful work of art, but then also have a message, and maybe not necessarily a message, but have a story behind it. And then you can kind of, foster discussion and intrigue. So, all right, going to another piece of artwork. And if I missed any questions, I don't think I have. Oh, it's okay. So I haven't missed any questions. So yeah, for those of you just joining, hi, my name is Sharon Samples. I am an artist I'm from Mobile, but I've been living in Montgomery for the past 3 going on 4 years. So I'm talking about my arts. I am in my home space. I don't have a studio per se. And usually because I do drawing, I do some drawing, pen and ink. And usually when I draw stuff, I'm just sitting with an artboard on the couch or on the floor or on my bed and just getting it done. So I'm going to go to this other piece that was part of a series, the last show I had. So this one, it was, drawings and text, and it's this one's based on the idea that a lot of people of African descent in America, when they have certain features, they'll say, oh, there's Indian in my family. And then I read an article basically saying that most features that are talked about as being Indian or Native American, that's actually comes from them having white ancestry, and then it kind of makes a combination of features. And most black people actually don't have Native American ancestry. They are more likely have European ancestry or white ancestry, but they just say it's Indian to be more exotic. But yeah, so that's so I actually based this on one of my ancestors, the portrait of one of my ancestors that was actually Native American, Black and Native American and European ancestry, because apparently her grandmother was full-blood Cherokee, and basically taking basing the portrait on her features, and then adding what was a Native American of that times, referencing that on top of it, and just putting that label on there, and so basically, what do you call it? Not transforming it, but also having lots of lovely subtle details. And I also chose this gray paper because it makes you think of an old-timey photograph, because those photographs look like between a drawing and a painting, if you've ever seen really old photographs, which I do have. Let's see what else. All right, again, women's faces. So as you see, I like to draw women. This is actually probably my most recent piece. I drew it on, I had bought some linen canvas because it was on sale or on clearance at the art supply store, and it sat here for a while, and I decided, hey, I want to draw something, and I like drawing hair, so I wanted to so these are actually faux locks, and I wanted to just highlight the texture and the features and make it something really beautiful. And then I just used acrylic paint to paint the background in. So I want to do more like this in the future. But yeah, so this was something. Thank you, Laura. Glad you like it. All right. So this piece, actually, I have not shown this full piece anywhere before. It was something where, since I'm an art teacher, and during 2020 was really hard because we lost a lot of students and teachers. But in this particular, the school won the state championship, and then one of the star basketball players actually drowned over the summer between the seniors getting out and them winning the championship, and then right before graduation. So I actually had the person on the right, that's actually one of my students, and the person on the left is a student that passed away. So I took this from the championship. I had these photos of the championship that people were posting online, and then they also were resharing them on social media in memoriam. So I started drawing this, and then I kind of like the unfinished quality because it has a lot of symbolism with, a life cut short, and kind of this beautiful moment between these young men, which you don't see a lot with this whole, like Black Boy Joy. And when they won the championship, they were literally crying and they were so happy. So it's kind of, I might just leave it like this because it was kind of me just getting those emotions and feelings out, and capturing that and putting it into a piece of artwork. So yeah, so that's that. But anyway, so I'll just do a close-up of this as well. So this is, again, it's pencil on illustration board, and yeah. Thank you, Sunny. Yeah, so that's the thing. Sometimes I think there's a quote from, I don't remember if it's Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci, where it says, art is never finished, it's only abandoned. So you just, as an artist, you just reach a stopping point for something. And, because you can work on it to infinity and it's not going to be perfect. So you just have to decide what's your natural stopping point and to get out what you want to get out. All right. So, okay. Yeah, I think that's all for there. These back up here. Ugh. I'm going to move on. So, and again, if anybody has any questions, you could ask it at any point, or you could just be enthralled with my arts, or just enjoy the show. So, let's see. All right. So anyway, this is panning my setup. All right. So I'm going to go to some more art pieces that I have. Try to put these up here. Let's see. All right. So, also, since I'm an art teacher, I did not originally go to school to be an art educator. I actually went to school and I got a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design from the University of South Alabama with a minor in photography. So I'm also a photographer sometimes. So when I decided to become a teacher, I did what's called an alternative certification, and I had to take the education courses while I was teaching. So one of the last classes I took was basically how to teach arts. And so this is one of the pieces I did for an assignment. And I had the intention of, actually, it's a drawing on watercolor paper. And I don't actually remember what the theme was, but it was creating some kind of piece having something to do with art education and teaching. And that's the theme I came up with. So I have, again, let me see if I can zoom in, hold it still so you can see pencil drawing, lots of symbolism. And I had recently bought a book about, what do you call it? I had recently purchased a book about doodling and design. So I used took those design elements. So maybe one day I'll actually get around to painting this, but for the assignment, I was kind of short on time. So there's like graduation cap, there is like a little school building. And I think the theme of this is kind of, that's what it was. I'm reading the text now. It was, for a piece of artwork for like a company I had to come up with, which is promoting the education of women and girls and women having access to education. So that's kind of the theme here. It's like a mother, daughter, and then all words kind of having to do with that. It says, I dream of a world where women and girls are free to pursue learning and have equitable access to education. Oh, thank you, Nicole. So there's a lot of half-finished pieces and ideas, as you'll see in my arts. So let's see, I picture my grandma. All right, so going back to art. All right, so again, this, it's in plastic, so it doesn't get messed up. But this is a piece of art that I did of, was it Poe Dameron from Star Wars? And I did it, this is natural media. Equal and equitable. That's a good question. So in education, they talk a lot about equity in education. Equal means that everyone, let me turn this around. So equal means that everybody gets exactly the same thing. Equitable means that everyone gets what they need to do what they need to do or succeed. For example, there's a meme or an illustration that goes around where it has children standing at a fence and they're different heights. And so one child is really tall, it can already see over the fence. One child is, medium height, and another child is really short. So for everyone to be able to see over the fence, the tall child might not need to stand on anything, but the short child just needs a little step ladder to see over the fence. But then the shortest child needs a step ladder that's actually the tallest to be able to see over the fence. So everyone gets something different, but they all reach the same goal, which is being able to see over that fence to watch the game. So again, the difference between equity in education has to do with, for example, different students. If you give all students the same resources, some people need more things than others. So equity is giving students whatever they need to be able to accomplish the same goal. For example, some kids have reading deficits, some people, and some kids don't. Some kids are good at math. Some kids haven't had a math teacher for 3 years because they didn't have a highly qualified teacher to teach them. So the kids who haven't had that education need more help and need more assistance and resources. So that is in itself is having them have access to an equitable education, not an equal education. Okay. going back to, okay, this piece. So this is, I did it with Copic markers and pen, drew it in pencil. So it's kind of Poe Dameron, because when the character played by Oscar Isaac, and kind of people really loved his character. So I did him in his environment of Tikal, which is actually based on, it's some Mayan ruins that they use for the set in Star Wars. So that's the planet where he's from, and kind of just did a kind of, I don't know, a theme surrounding that. And it was really fun to do, because usually, as you see, I mostly draw women. So it was fun to kind of play around with this character and do something fun. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, so if you were on Instagram and you saw the, what do you call it? The photo that was highlighted on the museum website, it was my print called And the Pea. It was based on the fairy tale Princess and the Pea. So the original was 10 by 20, but that sold at my first show. So I guess to have some integrity about that piece, and it was a digital piece, I decided that if I had prints available, they weren't going to be that same size. So the only prints I have available are these 9 by 10. No, sorry, 8 by 10. So this is kind of a clay print. So it's a fine art print. What am I trying to say? Okay, so I drew this original in pencil, then I scanned it into my computer and colored it digitally using Photoshop, and added the texture as well. So it's technically a digital painting. And then this is a fine art print of that digital painting. So as you can see here, what I did, I drew her figure, and then just the lines of the mattress, and then everything else I colored in Photoshop. And then on the bottom here, I don't know if I can see it, that is a hint of the pea. And if you're not familiar with the fairy tale of the Princess and the Pea, look it up. You can look it up, but basically it was that she was a princess, and to prove she was a princess, she had to lay on a bed of mattresses and be able to feel the pea underneath. So there was some guile used in her proving that she was a prince, because no one can actually do that. So this was a series of paintings or pieces of artwork based on popular fairy and folktale characters, or folktale stories and characters, and I just made, and generally in fairy tales, it's mostly they're European, but some of the fairy tales actually have equivalents in other cultures. So I just made all of the folktale characters people of color. So this one is actually the first piece I did. It's called There Are Wolves in the World, and this is Red Riding Hood. And so this is kind of my take on it, where has the hatchet in her hand. She's kind of in the woods, but she's not, some kind of innocent young girl that doesn't know what's around. Sorry, these are in plastic, so I'm just hard to see the detail. But this was originally, or I had the original of this one, and this one was 16 by 20 print for the show, but this is a smaller one that I had available in my shop. But if anyone is interested in buying one of these prints, you can message me. But and then this one, again, all these were 16 by 20 originally, and these are the smaller prints. This is called White and Red. So it's the story of Snow White and Rose Red, which is different than the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it's their sisters, and there's an enchanted prince who's turned into a bear by an evil gnome. So I liked, in this one particularly, I was trying to, the concept of, one, they're still people of color, but people of color can be light-skinned. So, and then have different features. So, Snow White had blonde hair, Rose Red had red hair. So again, it's like, if someone's mixed race or whatever, they can, black people can have blonde hair, black people can have red hair, that kind of concept. And they'd be sisters, and then they still have different skin colors, but their features are similar. Where do we contact you to purchase a print? So thank you for all these questions. So to purchase a print, you can just message me, DM me. I also have a Facebook page called The Art of Sharon Samples, which has my work as well. I'm sorry if y'all hear that knocking from my neighbors. All right, so this one is Rapunzel, called Let Down Your Hair. And when I was doing research about different folktales, I found out that there's actually a Persian story that is similar to Rapunzel. So this is kind of a Persian Iranian thing. Message me where? You can message me on Facebook, or you can message me here on Instagram at Hey Art Girl, HeyArtGyrl. Moving on. All right, so this one is I think the second one I did Red Riding Hood, and then this is Snow White, of course, and I made her within Asian features, and I really loved the idea of changing her outfit into modern attire. Samples, Camille. Is that my auntie? Okay. Again, lots of prints here. So this one was, I don't have the original. I have the original, but I don't know where it is. So this is a print. This is a print of. I did this actually for it was a benefit for a dog rescue called the Dog Days of Summer Art Show, and so this one is called They Just Blink at Us. Sirius, and Sirius is one of the stars in the Ursa Major constellation, I believe. So this is the constellation that you see when they talk about, I think it might be Ursa Major, but Sirius is, like a mythological dog. So that's kind of the dog star, and that's where the term the Dog Days of Summer comes in, actually. So this original was actually pen and ink on illustration board. And you see, I see detail in the curls and the hair. So I'm really into just doing detailed, clean line work. And then the grass. Sorry, I'm trying to pan so y'all can see. So again, this is a print. All right, I wanted to show this piece just because, as I mentioned, I have a little niece. And so I often do art with her. So this is a drawing I did of her. And whenever I draw her, since she naturally has pink cheeks, I'll draw her with these circles to show that they're her pink cheeks. And she has really long, pretty eyelashes. So I drew this picture of her. And then one day when she came over, she actually painted it and did the adornment with the circle and the polka dots. So this is a collaborative piece that I actually probably should frame and put it on the wall. But yeah, so if you see, so this, I actually drew it really fast with brush pens. And then Peyton, my niece, painted it with watercolor on copy paper, which I do not recommend. But in this case, of course, you know how you can't, hard to say no to little kids. So, all right, this is a print of another digital piece. It's a cover for a comic book from the movie Inception. It was a competition to design a comic book. So they gave us the script, and then I designed this with the characters from the comic book and drew it in pencil and then colored it in Photoshop. Yeah. And then let's see. Okay, I'm just going to show these pieces where I have these stories in my head and I like to draw as I call characters. So this was kind of me doing some character design with the outfits and some notes in pencil. So I don't consider myself, I don't really consider myself a sketcher or someone. I have sketchbooks, but I don't sketch a lot. Usually my sketch is doing whole drawings and getting the ideas out and then working out the details. So when I'm doing that, I use just regular, you can buy a pack of cardstock paper because it's a little bit thicker than sketchbook paper and it's acid free, and I'll do the drawings on that because it has a very smooth texture for me to be able to do my pencil lines and have a nice clean look. So even though it's a sketch, technically it doesn't look like a sketch or what you would think is a sketch. So this is another character doing all the details of the outfit and kind of getting those ideas. Again, this is another, these are the same, the girl characters before, just in a different setting, kind of trying to get their features. More stuff on. So this is something that I drew it in pencil and I started coloring it digitally, but I never finished. And I really think I should probably just scan this in off this as a print or something because I really love the drawing. It's actually a character I came up with called Natalie Nouveau. So she has kind of those Mucha-esque Art Nouveau kind of style to it. And that's another thing too, when you're looking back at your art, everything is not, so wow, I did this 2010. So I did this 11 years ago. No, 10 years ago. Yeah. No, over 11 years ago, almost 12 actually. And it's still, I still like it. So I need to do something with this, but this is an experiment. And then here's another drawing, you know, of different characters that are in different spaces. And I just drew them all in one picture together. Okay, so again, anybody have any specific questions or want to see anything? I'm gonna go, let's see. Oh wow, I'm finding some some pieces. Okay, it's a sketchbook that I think made for a thing called 20 Pages. Where it was an art show where we made a sketchbook. So I'll just show a few pieces from this. So it was a show-o-mobile. Tell us about your analog to digital workflow. Do you use a tablet or pen? Jeremy Oates Art. Oh, okay. Analogs, I guess that means like pencil. I do not use, I like to draw things traditionally, and then because I'm just better using a pencil. I can't, and I don't have all of the equipment to draw it digitally. I had a Wacom tablet, but I only use that to do coloring. So what I'll do is I will draw everything in pencil that I know I want to be in pencil, and if it needs to be colored, I do the coloring. I like to do the coloring digitally because if I mess up, it's easy to change. But as far as lines and stuff, I don't really edit it once it's in pencil. So, and then I will color it in Photoshop using layers. Oh, sorry, trying to get this up. I'll color it in Photoshop using layers. Put it up here. All right. Color it in Photoshop with layers and, you know, add some textures to it and get it right. I'm just flipping through the sketchbook backwards. This is from the Hunger Games, a scene with Peeta and Katniss. That was popular. So again, this project was just we constructed these sketchbooks from different types of paper and then had them on display. Oh, wow. I forgot I drew this. So, wow. I need to do, yeah. So some of these are available. This is just pen on gray paper. Again, I really love this. Something unfinished. I did a little bit on this. Wow, stuff falling out of here. This is some characters that I reimagined. Orange Blossom and Huckleberry Pie, if y'all remember the show Strawberry Shortcake. And that's what this was stuck in here as a reference. So this is what the character and the doll looked like, and then this is how I translated it. But this I did actually paint with, I think I used watercolor pencils in this case. That's why you can see the lines. But generally, I don't paint because I'm very much a perfectionist and it's hard to get it right. But I can paint, I just don't paint. So wow, I really need to, and I never scanned this in. So this is kind of like a hidden gem. I'm looking at this over 10 years later, because I think the show was in 2009. And wow, it's kind of not showing up here. So I'll have to scan some of these pieces in after the show. I want to say I used to do commissions, but I do commissions on a case-by-case basis. Meaning that, like right now, I'm actually really busy. So here are these characters again that I showed before. This time in pen, it was just me trying out a different medium, different style. This was like kind of like a week, you know how you'll have the weekly prompts, and the prompt was twirl. So I just did this couple dancing. So a lot of these I don't actually have online. This is a sketch from when I was at a restaurant. This is a friend's wife. We went on a trip, I think, and I ended up drawing them. I have a bunch of random stuff stuck in here. But look, got some leaves. All right, so again, This is my 20 pages sketchbook. So I drew pen and ink on the cover. This is a self-portrait that I did. Me holding a pencil, floating in the air, my jeans and cardigan, and my threadless shirt. So yes, to make it clear, I don't do commission. I'm not currently taking commissions, but it's on a case. So that's why I say I'm not open, but it's on a case by case basis. If it's something I think I can do, but I'm not just going to do anything. So we're talking about going back to the digital to analog workflow. So sometimes I'll do characters. Like, for example, this is a character I came up with several years ago, and I'll draw the iteration of it. And then I did, so this is kind of Robin and Marion, but they're gender swap, meaning basically Robin Hood is a girl. I made Robin Hood a girl, made Marion, made it a man. And so I drew this, I can't remember which one I did first, but I drew it in marker. I drew it in pencil, outlined it in pen, did it in marker. Then I drew the same thing in, in pencil on cardstock. And then I scanned that in and colored it digitally. And then this is a print of that image. So all the pencil lines are in pencil. And then this is, and sorry, I'm trying to hold it still. So I guess that's my workflow isn't really that complex, but it's basically either I do it in pencil, then color it digitally, then either I'll just post it online, or I'll make it available as a print. And usually I have the paper, so I'll print it myself because I have a nice printer. And if it's, for example, like these postcards, which I have, I get these printed just at a shop called Moo. So yeah, I do have, let me show these note cards. Sorry for the camera movement. So these note cards that I have sometimes. So these are Marvel characters. I was doing a series, actually, I don't have all of them, of the characters, kind of, you know how you always see them in their uniforms, and very formal. So I was thinking it's nice I want to do a thing where they're dressed down, and I have two more, but I don't have them as prints. So this is the Winter Soldier, drinking coffee in the morning. This is Natasha Romanoff. So I did this way before the Black. This is from 2015. So, and she's had lots of different hairstyles, but just like in a tank top, some tights. And then I did Peggy Carter, Maria, can't remember her last name, Maria Hill. So those characters. This is just 1950s Rogue and Gambit from the X-Men. I have an Epson XP 710, I think that is, and it's just a big, heavy workforce printer. It takes lots of different types of paper. So usually if I can, I will print something myself. But if it's something like these note cards where I just don't, it's just easier to, and not as expensive, I get a company called Moo to print these. And this website is this is not my website anymore, but yeah. And then this is a card version of the Robin Hood. This is Storm from X-Men. So this is a pen drawing, and I just, liked it in pen, just printed it. X-Men. Thank you. All right. So it's 10. All right. So it's almost actually time to wrap up. So, if anybody has any more questions, I'm just going to show y'all real quick some of my work from college, because I was talking a lot about my art. If anybody else has any questions, that'd be awesome. But I'm just going to go to so when I'm coloring something, this is my art cart. See, so I use these markers. I don't use a lot of these pens, but I use Copic markers when I'm coloring something. I have a lot of supplies that I don't actually utilize at this point. But I wanted to go really quick to this one piece. This is from graphic design that won an award when I was in high school. So this is a pencil drawing that I did. The frame's coming off. I'll just take that off. For a magazine photo, and I picked it because of all this detail in the hat. So I drew all of this, and this is a drawing, not a photograph. I'm really proud of it. I need to frame it. So again, thank you, Grandma. Yeah, I know. I was crazy. But I say I was crazy back then. So I'm just going to flip through some art. Did this in high school. Watercolor painting. Unfinished grid drawing. High school, again, pencil drawing. This was in like the literary magazine. This is a picture of Mariah Carey. This is the first thing I did. One of the first things I did when I was a freshman in art. Again, about 15 years old. Another thing in arts. So all this is my high school art. High school art. So again, I have all this stuff stuck together. This is a portrait. Oh, from 2002. Wow. So this was when I was in college. College drawing classes. So all college drawing. So yeah, okay, won't have that. Lots of drawing. Oh, this is one of my favorites. We had a pregnant model in figure drawing. So yeah. All right. So thank you all for logging on today. Sorry. If no one has any questions, that's fine. But you can follow me again at I'm gonna put my at Hey Art Girl, and I will actually start posting some of these pieces that I did on the live for y'all to check them out. But you can follow me on Instagram at Hey Art Girl. I'm still in the process of working out my website. My personal Instagram is at Sharon82. I say it as Sharon82. Thank you all for joining. And if there's no further questions, you can rewatch this live. If you missed some of it, it's going to be posted on the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts Instagram, which I'm on right now. And I hope you guys have just a lovely Saturday. Thank you. All right, no, last call for questions. Yeah, and if you want to purchase art from me or purchase any of my prints, again, hopefully I will have my website back up by next week. But you could just send me a message on my Instagram, or like I said, I'm still getting my email and stuff worked out with my website too, but Instagram messaging is probably for now the best way. Thank you. My hair looks great. Yes, I tried. So have a good day, everyone. Have a happy Saturday. Be safe. And I guess support whatever your local art entity is. Bye.